Now, they start talking about what it's like there and what they're doing. And there's a province there that they're starting to concentrate on a province in Vietnam and some of the problems that they have there. In a province deemed correctly to be overwhelmingly sympathetic to Viet Cong, this meant eliminating the countryside. The villages were bombed, burned down, and pulverized. Sometimes villagers would be warned in advance that their homes were about to be wiped off the face of the earth. Sometimes not. It was common practice to shell or bomb any village from which the U.S. soldiers had taken any fire, even small arms, without any warning at all. The destruction was on an almost unimaginable scale. So again, this is something that in the wars that I fought in, that we would never do that. It wasn't just like, oh, we took rifle fire from a village, bombed the whole thing. That was not happening. Mm-hmm. This was the reality behind Westmoreland's prediction in 1965 that the war will bring about a moment of decision for the peasant farmer. He will have to choose if he stays alive. American officials frequently referred to this choice. The choice is yours, one leaflet dropped on villages proclaimed. If you refuse to let Viet Cong use your villages and hamlets as their battlefield, your homes and lives will be spared. 1 million leaflets a day were being dropped on Quang Nai province at this time. The whole exercise assumed that the largely illiterate peasants could actually read them. From 1965 to 1972, 50 billion leaflets were dropped over Vietnam, 1,500 each for every member of the population. So that's just, when you think about we're dropping these leaflets to tell people what to do, and most of the population, or a lot of the population is illiterate. Mm-hmm. Hey, get out of your village. Well, there's a piece of paper flying from the sky, and I don't know what it says.
Yeah.
Back to the book. To stay and be killed, or to go join thousands of other refugees in the squalor of refugee camps or the mushrooming shanty towns around the towns and cities, what kind of a choice was this? But for the Americans, the whole point of clearing an area of countryside of its people was so that anyone who remained must be Viet Cong. These areas became free fire zones. Anything that happened to someone who chose to remain in or return to a free fire zone was their own fault. They could expect the worst. The belief that people had been given a chance to get out had made their choice, made the strategy morally workable. In a free fire zone, the pursuit of a high body count could proceed unencumbered by the need to discriminate between combatants and civilians at all. Nowhere was this breathtaking carelessness of human life greater than in Quang Nai. No one was actually saying kill civilians, but no one strived to keep them alive. Because the killing of civilians came to be seen as unavoidable, less and less time was spent on seeing how it could be avoided. To American spokesmen, the death or injury of non-combatants was always accidental, an inevitable tragedy of war, and therefore somehow uncorrectable. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to figure this out. When the Americans are bombing your village and they're killing your son, your husband, your wife, whatever. I mean, whose side are you going to be on? Mm-hmm. You know, and we know that the VC were brutal. But look at the end of Platoon Commander when the VC come in and murder half the village or 3/4 of the village and burn down their huts and blow up all their hooches. We know that the VC were capable and evil. But when our strategy is, hey, give them a quick warning, drop some leaflets, tell them if they stay there, they're VC, and if not, hey, we gave them a chance. So if they're staying there, there must be VC. Mm.